Once upon a time, a long time ago, after you had finished switching out the floppy disks, putting in 5, 6, 7, 8 floppy disks, and after you had done all of that and you had managed to configure your Sound Blaster card to finally output the sweet MIDI tunes of games long past, you would be able to play games like this. This is Quest for Glory 1. This, my friends, this is quite possibly the first game I ever played. Now, I have to preface that by saying, yes, I played simple games on my dad's work computer, you know, monkeys throwing bananas at each other for reasons of who knows. Who knows why they felt the need to throw explosive bananas in a city skyscraper line? I have no idea. But this is Quest for Glory 1, the VGA version. This is actually, when you buy this, at least when you buy the GOG version, which is what I'm running, you have the option of running the original game. But this is an official remake by the original developers of the game, and it is officially Quest for Glory 1. When they actually originally made this game, it was called So You Want to Be a Hero, and that's the tagline here of Quest for Glory 1. But after they made the second game, they decided, oh, hey, you know, we're going to make this a series. They went back and they made this game again with much better graphics and mouse support and added in, I do believe, support for a lot more sound cards and all. This is the first game that I really ever played, and I didn't really necessarily understand everything that I was doing, but my sister was playing it at the same time, and she's older than I am, and I would watch along, and I'd kind of stumble my way through, and yeah, this is the first main core game I ever really played, and I know it pretty well, but I think this game is actually one that holds up really, really well in modern times, and the reason for that is so much of the game is based on things that really haven't become antiquated. Yeah, you know, you still have kind of point-and-click adventure gameplay here, but you've got basic RPG mechanics, you've got good story, you've got lots of quests and things to go do. Yeah, you don't have, you know, wild game mechanics, you know, like the city doesn't come under siege and you have to fight it off, and, you know, this game especially is very much not an end-of-the-world scenario. You're this guy who came through a mountain pass because you saw a wanted poster, and you want to be a hero. That's why the original game had the "So You Want to Be a Hero" tagline. And you just come into this valley, and you kind of have to just solve the problems of the people around. And that sounds kind of lame, but, you know, there are some big problems for these people, but in the grand scheme of things, this isn't, you know, some world-ending cataclysm. You know, their princess has gone missing, their prince has gone missing. A witch has taken up residence nearby, the pass is closed, and they don't know why, and there's all sorts of weird stuff that goes on in and around this town, but none of it is world-ending. At the end of this, you're a local hero. But over the course of this series of games, you're going to solve bigger and bigger and bigger problems. In the second series, you have an evil vizier, because that's one thing that happens as you go through these games, is you go from locale to locale. Quest for Glory 1 is very much a stereotypical medieval village, I guess you could call it. Small baron, you know, he's got a castle, that sort of thing. In Quest for Glory 2, you go to kind of the Arabia, or, you know, that kind of, it's deserty, there's long flowing clothes, you have the evil vizier kind of guy. Quest for Glory 3 goes to probably Africa, is probably the best way to describe that. It's not necessarily got any real world counterpart, but it's Africa. It's kind of got some jungle aspects, it's got some savanna aspects, it's got some tribal aspects. Then in Quest for Glory 4, you go to Eastern Europe, kind of Slavic. You interact with creatures that are from Slavic mythology. You heard me mention potentially in the Thea games, mentioning the Rusalka. Yeah, you run into that in these games. Then in Quest for Glory 5, you kind of go to almost like it's kind of Grecian, kind of Atlantis. You run into the River Styx and the Cerberus and stuff. And so, over the course of these games, though, your renown grows, and you go from being a small-town hero to this dude saves the world. Potentially literally in the case of Quest for Glory 4, I'm not going to spoil the story there, but let's just say you stop a very, very bad guy from entering the world. So, here we are in Quest for Glory 1, though. We're a nobody. Nobody knows of us as a hero. Nobody thinks that this guy is the stuff. So, you get to craft your character and then take them through all the stories, and you get to experience that development over the course of several games, and that's really neat to see. And it's a fun game. So we're going to play some of this. I don't know how much of this we're going to play. If you've got interest in it and you like seeing it, then who knows? We might make a thing out of this. We might play it for a while. Let me know down in the comments down below. But if not, regardless, I hope you watch this and hope you enjoy it. Now, I have chosen to play as a thief. Normally when I would play, I would actually play as the fighter because I really enjoy being the paladin in Quest for Glory 4. And also, he has an easier time in combat because, of course, he's a fighter. He has an easy time hitting things. We're actually going to play the thief, though, because the thief can go places that none of the other characters can go. Well, and that's true of the other two characters as well. But, usually, the other two characters usually can't get in the Thieves Guild at all. But the thief can. And, you know, you can still learn magic and stuff if you assign points to that. So here we are at the character creation screen. And this is where you give some initial points to your person, but this game is going to seem at the time this was how adventure games happen. You put points in these skills, but then as you use the skills, they get better. You know, I didn't see that again until Morrowind, you know? But this is how this game was structured, and so as long as you give yourself some points in, say, magic here, then we'll be able to learn magic and level this skill up. Now, to put a skill from 0 points to 5 actually takes 15 points of your available points down here, but at least you then know the skill and you can level it up. And because your character persists from game to game and you keep the stats, you have a vested interest in maxing these skills out, and being able to learn skills is great. Yeah, you have to put up with a little bit harder of an early game, but now we know all of the skills that are in the game. And your health, stamina, and magic points are going to go up as your primary stats increase. So, and these are your kind of... You get better by doing... These do get better as you do stuff, but they just... I don't know the exact rules of how these increase. However, let's increase some of our skills here. What would be good? In the beginning of the game, we're not really going to have much in the way of magic. We don't have much mana. You know, we're going to be able to cast one spell, and then that's going to be it. So let's focus a little bit more on the combat. Yeah, we'll have to get this stuff up, but you know, we'll get that up through normal gameplay. So let's go ahead and put another 5 points in strength. Get ourselves some more health and stamina, because that's really going to help us to do stuff in the game world. Luck, I have no earthly idea what that does. I really don't. You'd think after playing all of these games I would know, but in Quest for Glory 1, I have no idea what luck does. And you know what, why don't we just go ahead and put the last 2 points into strength and vitality. It's just going to give us that early game health advantage that is going to make our life a lot easier. Okay, and then we just need to pick a name for our character. Now, for reasons that will become apparent, I am actually going to name this guy somewhat humorously. Okay, over the course of the games, your character basically never changes clothes. He wears like the same clothes for like the entire game, and in some cases multiple games in a row. So we're gonna name this guy Sweaticles. Because of course, you know, he's going to be a buff guy here by the end of the game, but he's going to be very, very sweaty, so I never name these characters seriously. So, alright, let's take Sweaticles here, and we're going to start. Here you are in the town of Spielberg. And that is the sheriff. This seems like a quiet little town. On the porch ahead of you are 2 people. The standing one is large, rather ugly, and playing with a yo-yo. The seated person smoking a pipe looks like he might be the sheriff. Let's go introduce ourselves. The man with the pipe greets you. Welcome to our town. You are lucky to have made it down from the mountains before the snow blocked the pass again. It's gotten pretty dangerous outside of town, I understand. He's just the sheriff. He doesn't have to worry about outside of the town. Many monsters have been trapped around here with the late snow. Between them and the brigands, we certainly could use a hero around here. I'm Sheriff Schultz Meisterson. This is Otto von Goon, my assistant. If I ever have a goon, that's what I'm going to call him. Otto von Goon. Good luck in your quest. So, this is Quest for Glory. Now, of course, this is the remake, so if you play the original game, you're going to be working with keyboard more than you will be with mouse. But this game is, as far as I'm aware, entirely playable with the mouse. If you right-click, your cursor will change what action you're going to perform. Move, look, touch, and talk. But at any time you can go up here and you can access things like your inventory. You can see what all we have here. We have 4 gold pieces and 10 silver. We have 5 food. We have 1 leather jerkin. We have 1 dagger and 1 lockpick, because of course we're playing a thief. And you can then, pick up or drop or something like that, which we don't want to do. But of course over here you had the more important buttons, which were walk, run, which looks somewhat like a dinosaur, and sneak. You can also sleep. You can view your character stats, which of course is exactly as we created them for Sweaticles here. And you can also wait, although why you would do that I don't know. So let's go ahead and talk to the sheriff. Now, there are going to be a lot of people, which I will only actually go ahead and talk to everybody if we're going to make this a full series. Otherwise, this entire video is just going to be me talking to the people in town. But let's go ahead and talk to the sheriff here. We're going to ask him about the mountain. You should know. You came down from there. Helpful. Yeah, he just bopped me on the head with his yo-yo. You do that. He does that if you wait too long. This town was named after the barons of Spielberg. It used to be a lively place to be before the brigands came and drove all the business away. You can find a place to stay at the inn next door. You can learn about jobs available at the guild hall down the street. If you're interested in magic, you should visit the magic shop. There is still plenty to do and see here in Spielberg. So let's ask him about the Baron, because of course the Baron was the one that posted the wanted poster that we saw. Baron Stefan keeps mostly to himself at his castle north of here. We haven't seen him here in town for years. Just next to the inn is a small magic shop. The owner, Zara, will let you in if you have some abilities in that area. She's a strange one, all right. Yeah, she is. She's really strange. Okay, let's ask him about the inn. Go talk to the innkeeper. He will help you there. Thanks, big help. Guildhall! The Guildhall is at the southwest corner of town. If you're looking for work, that's a good place to go. Alright, well, let's progress on here to talking about monsters. The monsters come down from the mountains every winter, but they're usually gone by now. The Baron just doesn't have enough men to handle them. Wolfgang is the one to talk to about monsters. He's had a lot of experience with them. Of course, Wolfgang, we find out, is the head of the Guildhall. Wolfgang, down at the Guildhall, is the one to talk to about monsters. He's had a lot of experience with them. I think he just said that. And of course, you can see there's some graphical glitches here. Take a look at this over here. He's either wearing an iron headpiece or that's clipping through. But, you know, hey, we're going to ignore that. And let's go ahead and skip on through this. We can ask about the brigands. There's a whole band of brigands hiding out somewhere in the mountains around us. They robbed a merchant just last week. Got a fair amount of treasure, I hear. Ask about the merchant. The one who's robbed? He's staying at the inn, I believe. Okay, we've talked about the inn. And we can ask about the treasure. Obtaining treasure involves putting yourself in danger. If you're brave, foolish, or lucky, you might get some treasure. Yeah, there is actually... Oh, danger. My friend, this world is filled with dangers. Sometimes I think it might be better to choose your danger, rather than sitting around waiting for it, as I seem to do. But enough of this philosophical rambling. I am content enough to be the sheriff of Spielberg. Yeah, because there's really not much trouble here in town. Honestly speaking, the town has been left alone, by and large. It's just everybody outside the town that seems to be having problems. You'll need to talk to Baron about the adventure, or go ask Wolfgang down at the Guildhall, which is just down the street. So maybe you're going to be a hero? Well, we could surely use one around here. What with all the brigands? Okay, you can see that you can talk about these multiple times, but it's okay. As you do this, you'll notice there's a score tracker up here that is kind of a tracker of what you've done in the game, what you've accomplished. If you accomplish everything in the game, then of course you'll get a perfect score. That's pretty rare, honestly speaking. It's going to take you many playthroughs of the game to get a perfect score. Because there's just going to be conversations you didn't have, there's going to be things you didn't do, things you don't even know about necessarily. For instance, there's a fairy ring, and it might take you a while to figure out what to do with the fairy ring. I don't think you have to do it. It's completely optional. In fact, it's entirely optional, I think, to save the Baronet or get rid of Baba Yaga. One of them, the witch. One of them is entirely optional. You don't even have to do it. We're going to, though, if we play this. Let's ask about Otto. Otto is a big help to me. He's very smart for a goon. His prisoners only suffer a few broken bones when he grabs them. I guess he would be good to have on a goon on the sheriff force. It took a bit of doing to teach him to bring back prisoners alive, but he hardly ever forgets now. So we can actually talk to Otto, but, you don't get a response for that. Now, he actually bopped us on the head with his yo-yo, and I think that actually can hurt you. But it's okay. We're going to go over here. We're going to switch to run, because that way you get your stats up, because walking doesn't get your stats up. So this is the magic shop over here. In fact, we can look at that, and it seems to be watching you, as, in fact, it does. Over here we have a woman. We're going to rob her house later. Sad to say. She's an old woman, but she's the only sane person here. At least she's not off a rocker. We're going to run over here, and we're going to go in the guild hall, because that's what you do. When you're a hero, you go to the guild hall to see what all you could do to become a hero. This Adventurers Guild Hall reminds you of the one in your hometown. The traditional moose head and other stuffed monsters, Saurus, troll, griffin, dragon, cheetar, and the terrible Antwerp adorn the walls. Now, some of these creatures we're going to encounter in this playthrough, and at least if we play long enough. Some of them you will not. Sorry to say, we're not going to encounter a griffin in this game. I do believe every one of these, though, you do encounter at some point, just not necessarily in this game. You see a registration book on the table and the bulletin board full of job listings. The man seated near the window must be the guildmaster. He's snoring. So there's plenty to look at here, and this is an Antwerp. This is certainly a weird one. You've never seen anything quite like it. The plaque reads, Antwerp, slain by 2 guys from Andromeda. That is the head of a cheetar. The head is like a panther's, but with a strong human-like quality. It's still rather frightening. The plaque reads, Cheetar, slain by Wolfgang Abentua. I'm not French, I apologize. The dragon, even in death, this monster is still awesome. The plaque reads, Dragon, slain by Baron Stefan von Spielberg. And I believe that is the last dragon that plagued this valley. This looks like a particularly nasty troll. You wouldn't want to meet him in a dark forest. The plaque reads, Troll slain by Wolfgang Abentua. Yes, the troll reads. Up here's a griffin. This crossbreed of eagle and lion could have torn a man apart when it was alive. The plaque reads, Griffin, slain by Wolfgang Abentua. You might be noticing a trend here. Moose. Courtesy of the Sierra Online Prop Department. And here is a purple saurus. You never saw a purple saurus before you came to Spielberg, but it looks like a really stupid monster. And it is. It is so stupid that I believe actually there's some spells that don't work on it. The plaque reads, Saurus, slain by Hans Half-Witten. Yes, there is humor in these games. This suit of armor, wonder why he doesn't need it anymore. Then you see the cheetar claw marks. Yeah, cheetars are pretty nasty. We'll probably actually see them before we can actually fight them, and you run from them until you are sure you can fight them. Okay, so over here is a help wanted board, and we'll get an idea of some quests to get us started here in the game world. Some of these you're going to do very quickly, some of them are going to take you the entire game to do. Reward for the return of lost ring. Inquire at the healers. That's one you can actually do pretty early. This is a poster is rather dusty and faded. The picture is of a small child with braids. Reward of 50 gold coins for the safe return of Elsa von Spielberg. Inquire at Spielberg Castle Gates. Reward of 30 gold coins for the capture or death of the brigand warlock. Description, short, ugly, and wears brightly colored robes. Has a habit of laughing continually. Inquire at Spielberg Castle Gates. Wanted, brigand leader. Description, unknown appearance, wears a cloak. Must provide proof of leader's identity. Reward of 60 gold coins and title of Hero of the Realm. Inquire at Spielberg Castle Gates. Of course, I believe that is actually the game-ending event when this happens. I'm not going to spoil anything about that. Notice, spell components needed. Cash or trade for potions. Inquire at the healers. And this is actually going to be, actually, believe it or not, where you're actually going to get a decent amount of your money at the beginning of the game is actually turning in stuff that you get from combat and visiting in the world at the healers in exchange for money. This poster seems to have been here a while. It has a picture of a handsome but arrogant young man. Reward of 50 gold coins for information leading to the return of Baronet Bernard von Spielberg. Inquire at Spielberg Castle Gates. Now, of course you can't tell who is the Baron's favorite here. 50 gold coins for the Baronet, and... oh, no. I have same reward for both. Okay. I thought one was higher. Alright, well, let's go over here and sign the guild book here, which is something you do in every quest for glory, I believe. And sign your log name... let's try that again. You sign your name into the adventurer's logbook with a flourish. And if we look at it here... yeah, well, I guess look. You get a ton of points for that. The writing on this page is very recent. It says, I, Sweatocles, have come to Spielberg to become a hero. This entry was made several years ago. It reads, Baronet Bernard von Spielberg killed a troll near the Flying Falls on this 23rd day of October. The other pages record the exploits of the great adventurers of Spielberg's past. The names Wolfgang Abenture and Baron Stefan von Spielberg appear most often. So apparently the Baron was quite active in his younger years, but lately he has not really traveled out of the castle very much. So if you try to walk over here, this guy's going to wake up, and he talks a lot. Well, I thought he did. Ah! I was so busy I didn't notice you. Come in. Welcome, welcome. It is so seldom that we have new adventurers here. Most people think this valley is cursed. Then she turned around and I was staring into the biggest... Oh, it's you, my friend. Okay. Pardon the voices. I give these characters voices. This is where an adventurer can find out who needs someone brave and courageous. There are many jobs on the bulletin board over there. There's also a good place to talk about adventures on a cold afternoon. We used to play cards here once a week as well, but there are too few adventurers in Spielberg anymore. They all died from monsters or brigands. No, they just got too old. He's pretty old himself. Now we can talk to this guy a lot. I don't know what all you guys want to talk to him about. I always talk to the characters about pretty much everything when I play, but seeing as we're a little bit into the video here, let's go ahead and we'll wait to talk about some of this stuff. Of course, you can talk to him about the curse and various other things that has happened in the area, and we'll get back to that if this is something that you guys want to see. Just because I don't want to take the whole video up with recording this guy talking, because he talks a lot. And he goes, of course, right back to sleep as soon as you run away. Now, we're very early in the game. We don't really have very much stamina at all. You can see we've already drained 4 stamina points just from running around here. But if we continue to run around, we're going to start increasing our stats. We're going to increase our stamina and be able to do it more and more and more and more. That's the magic shop. There's a half-naked lady that sells spells there. We're going to keep going. We're actually going to go into the inn. And this seems like kind of a curious place to go. But these characters are actually pretty important characters in the game. Welcome, welcome, traveler, to the Hero's Tale Inn. I am Shamin, at your service. May you find what you seek here. Okay, now I thought there was going to be the traveler in here. I forgot he only shows up in the evening. But the merchant that got robbed will show up here, and he'll tell you all about how he got robbed, and he'll offer a reward. But we can actually talk to Shamin here if we wanted to. Let's go ahead and get an idea of who they are. Very good food, very good drink, finest in town. Sit, rest, you will be served by my Shamina. Yeah, these are called kata, and they're not from around here. They actually are very common in the second game, and I believe that's actually the last one that they show up in. But these are important characters in the game, and they are your friends. Actually, I think they show up in the right at the tail of the fourth game and into the fifth as well. So these are reoccurring characters that they seem just like, oh, it's a tavern owner, who cares? But no, the characters in this game, at least some of them, are pretty well developed characters, and some of them are returning characters or reoccurring characters. Even characters you might not expect, or in other games are very stereotypical. So you can actually talk to them a whole bunch. Again, we're going to get a lot into talking to the people if we play this on multiple playthroughs. But for now, let's go ahead and leave, just so you can see a little bit more of what's in this game and what there is to do. Let's go ahead and run all the way through town, because town is not actually very big here. And just so you can see kind of what's up. Oh. So... Sorry, forgot to. There's a centauress here that you can talk to. She sells apples. It's going to be one of your sources of food, or you can buy food rations from the dry goods store. If we go all the way down here to the end, this is the other end of town. You've pretty much seen it all at this point. There is actually an alley right here we can go in. This is a tavern, and that's it. That's the whole town. So pretty small. Again, you're going to be able to talk to some of the people in these buildings, but we're actually going to go ahead and leave and go over to explore outside town. The breeze is cool, but you feel a shiver deeper than just the cold. You're really on your own now, in a very, very dangerous place. But at least you get heroic music, right? In every Quest for Glory game, this music only plays when you first leave town. It's as far as I'm aware. Possibly Quest for Glory 3 might be the exception to that. We're actually going to run over here, and you can see that the artwork in this game is probably being mutilated on YouTube because, of course, you're viewing it at a very large size. But the artwork in this game was actually really, really good for its time, and honestly speaking, it still holds up pretty well. I mean, sure, you've got a blurry face and whatnot, but it holds up. You get all the information you need to know, and most of the elements in the screen are very static, but they've got the hitboxes very well defined, so you can interact with the world as you would expect you would be able to. This style is so successful that it has been emulated several times over the years, and there are games that, like Quest for Infamy, that are based on this series. Okay. So the reason why I'm coming here is I believe when we run back here, there seems to be a fox north of the road. Now, I knew this was here, of course. Whoop! Missed what he was going to say, sorry. He's a very happy-looking fox for being caught in the foot. My foot is caught in this cruel trap, and I am in great pain. Surely you could take a minute and set me free. Please help me, brave and kind hero. Of course we can. You spring the trap. In exchange for your kindness, I will give you some advice and a bit of information. First of all, it sometimes pays off to be polite, even to rude people. As for the amusing tidbit, Baba Yaga put an enchantment on the Baron's daughter some years back. To break the spell, you need to talk to the Dryad. Au revoir, ta-ta for now, be seeing you. So there you go. And unfortunately, we can't do very much with the trap. But you can, of course, look at it. This trap is an especially nasty piece of work. Besides the inch-long spiky bits, never mind. Suffice it to say that you would not enjoy being caught in it. What if we can actually run over it? No, he runs around. Okay. So you can see that the world here is, it's got unique screens, and there are all sorts of destinations and things to do as you run around in the world. If we go up here, we'll go to the Healer's Hut, which again is going to be where you're going to get most of your money, and there is going to be a very annoying bird up here who will constantly cheep. There's more birds in here, and boy do they get annoying. Come on in! The fragrances of herbs mingle with some other unpleasant odors as you step into the healer's house. Lovely day, isn't it? My, you look healthy for an adventurer. You must be new. Because everybody else gets old and decrepit around here. What can I do for you? I can sell you healing potions if you like. I also buy spell components if you are interested in gathering some for me. Don't mind me, I always have so much to do around here. And in fact, she does. You can't talk to her while she's moving, if I remember right. Okay, but we can go ahead and talk to her about what all we can get, and that's actually something that we need to do, because we need to talk to her before we can actually gather the components that we can sell to her. I always need ingredients for making potions. Right now I need some of Arana's flowers, magic mushrooms, troll beard, and let me think. Oh yes, cheetar claws. I will also be happy to pay you back if you bring me some. I also buy back any empty flasks you have so that I can recycle them. Waste not, want not, after all. Okay, the cheetar claws in particular, sometimes you have to talk to her multiple times to get the game to register that you can collect those, which is really tragic, because when you kill your first cheetar, I mean, that's an accomplishment, and then missing out on the money from that is actually kind of a big deal. The trolls around here are tough monsters that cannot stand the light of day and are so only found around at night or in caves. They're very difficult to kill, but I will pay 2 healing potions for the beard of a troll. Which is a bit of a problem late in the game because you have so many healing potions. I use flowers from Arana's Peace to the north in nearly all of my potions. They have some of the magic of the place even when they are dried. I would pay you 5 silvers for a flask full of flowers. We're going to take advantage of that. Almost due north of here is the meadow called Arana's Peace. It is a very magical area, and I understand that it is a place of safety. It is beautiful all year, for the flowers are always in bloom. Yeah, Arana is actually a recurring character, and in fact, believe it or not going to spoil too much, but you can actually marry her, even though she was in the underworld, so, different game. Okay, cheetar claws. The cheetar looks like a cross between a panther and a man. It is vicious and tough. Unless you are a very tough fighter, you will had best try to get away from it. If you do manage to kill it, then I will pay you 5 silvers for each claw. As soon as you get a decent number of claws from that. I will pay you 1 silver for each empty flask you bring me, so I can use it for more potions. And the mandrake root. Mandrake root is used in a variety of spells, and mostly for evil purposes. Mandrake must be pulled from a dead man's grave at midnight. The root is particularly powerful. Okay, let's go ahead and ask her about the potions. She makes healing potions, power potions, vigor potions, and the undead unguent. I don't know if we have to talk to her about these. I really don't think so, but we're going to go ahead and talk about the undead unguent just because that's weird. The undead unguent is used to drive off minor undead, such as zombies or floating spirits. It doesn't last long, so you should use it near where you are going to encounter such things. Yes. Zombies. There are not too many zombies in this land. Too damp, I suppose. There's some floating spirits, I have heard. Oh yeah, if you sell the undead unguent, you probably do. Floating spirits are the ghosts which usually hang around graveyards at night. They are dangerous, so don't go near them unless you use undead unguent first. Yeah, the undead in this game, they don't really make an appearance. That doesn't happen until Quest for Glory 4. My personal favorite, and this is going to be something I'm going to have to get it out there because it's going to come out sooner or later. My personal favorite Quest for Glory is Quest for Glory 1 and 4. A lot of people are going to tell you that either the second or the third is better, and that's fine. My personal favorite is 1 and 4. Particularly 4, because that game just has so much in it. And yes, it is buggy. It is almost impossible to finish the game because of the bugs. Although that may be fixed in the GOG version, I'll have to see. But, oh, golly. Oh, they're such good games. Really, really enjoy them. Okay, so now we've seen this. We can go ahead and leave. Oh, by the way, if you happen to find a ring on your adventures, I lost my favorite gold ring. I will give a reward to the one who returns it. Now, I'm not going to reveal where that is at this time, but suffice it to say, we will find that if we need to. How are we doing on stamina? Well, we've gone up in intelligence, but we've dropped in stamina. Don't want to go too low because we might run into some monsters. So let's go ahead and sneak. Yes, he actually, as he sneaks, he looks back and forth like constantly. The secret in this game, of course, is if you want to sneak like this, you ramp the speed up to ridiculous levels. Okay, so we obviously didn't fool him. He obviously can still see us. In fact, all the people in the game can totally see you if you're sneaking around. But we can talk to him, and he's Heinrich Pfefferdorn. I live in town with my daughter Hilde, who sells our produce on Market Street. Yeah, they get like all the food for the town from this little garden right here. I'm a little suspect about that. However, He doesn't really have too much to say. He just tells you a little bit more about what's going on in the world, which again, if you want to see more of this, let me know, and I'll be happy to play that, and we'll come back and we'll talk to these characters. We'll talk to a few characters each episode. Not a problem. However, I think what we probably need to do is we need to consider the time of day. Mid-afternoon. Let's go ahead and make it up to Arana's Peace and come on back. So we're just going to run up here, and I mean run. You can pretty much just go straight up here. You might see some monsters come out. If I see some, I'll let you know. But as you're running around in the countryside here, you might encounter some. Yep, that's a goblin. We're a little bit low on stamina. He's going to follow us around for a little while, but it's okay. We'll just run right up here. Now, I knew the way here, but this is Arana's Peace. And they are quite correct. This is a magical place, and anyone with any hostile feelings cannot enter this location. The meadow lies covered with a blanket of flowers, unusual for this early in spring. It is warm, even though surrounded by the late snows of winter. A large carved stone lies flat on the ground. You feel as though someone gentle was watching over you. You feel that you are safe here. The air has the fresh, clean scent of the mountains, accompanied by numerous perfume-like fragrances. What we can do is we can actually pick a fruit from the tree. The sweet, juicy fruit of the tree is amazingly satisfying and refreshing. And it actually does help you. If I remember right, it does help you. So now we've increased in intelligence, vitality, and stealth, all since we last looked at this. Unfortunately, our core stats haven't gone up, but, you know. This is actually, as long as you come in and eat from this tree, you will not use any of your food rations. At all. So, in this game in particular, we aren't going to have to worry too much about food. Let's go ahead and pick some flowers from the garden. We know that the healer will buy them. You pick a variety of the sweet-smelling flowers. They seem to glow in your hands, and you put them away safely. We can gather 2 bunches, and after that it tells you, nope, sorry, you have all you need. So let's take a look at this stone here. The large stone appears to be ancient and deliberately placed. Marks carved into the stone almost look like writing. The stone has the words, Arana's Peace, carved upon the top. There's some runes carved along the side. And of course, if you try to go over here and use it, no amount of physical effort will be able to move this stone. It's okay. We can still get that open, don't worry. So, to the north, the high, snowy peaks of the Dragon Smoke Mountains are clearly visible. You are at the snow line, all around you except for the forest. The rocks of the mountains glisten with slippery snow. Now, let's go ahead and save it here. And just because I don't know whether these games have any bugs in them at this point, Quest for Glory 1 never really crashed for me all that much, but it does occasionally crash. And the reason why I'm saving it is actually because I'm going to go right next door and show you just how much stuff is really in this game. So if we go right over here, yeah, there's that guy. We're going to leave. So there's stuff all around in this world, stuff that you're going to see, stuff that you're going to encounter, and stuff that honestly has a story. Everything, we're going to run from that too. At this point, I don't want to try to tangle with a brigand, especially on low stamina. My stamina is still at 14, but go back over here. And you're going to learn over the course of the game that there are these safe spots. This is another little safe spot. Monsters can't enter this screen. A lot of the special screens, monsters can't. So, and you'll learn to know what those are over the course of the game. But you've never seen anything quite like these flowers. They're pretty in a grotesque sort of way. And if you can actually get the, yeah, they're spitting what looks to be some kind of seed. I think you can actually look at the seed if you can click it. Oh well, whatever. At this point, there's nothing that we can do. They're very steep and they look difficult to climb. We can't actually get up there right now, but if you valiantly scrabble against the cliff wall for long enough, you'll eventually level up your climbing skill. You notice we now went up to 6, and eventually you might be able to climb up there. But for now, we're not going to. Okay, we're actually, at this point, I think we're going to start walking because we really are low on stamina. Actually, you know what? Let's go ahead and run. We'll run back to town, turn in those flowers. And if we come down here, That way we get a little bit of money. Sorry. If we come down here and actually go one more spot over here, the next screen over here is an early combat zone that we'll take advantage of. Can I fight off a goblin at this point? Well, you know, I have it saved. Why not? Let's see if we can fight him off. Hostile intent is evident. Prepare for battle. So this is how battle in this game works. You can, we're gonna try to kill this guy before we run out of stamina. Oop. So you can see it's pretty simple. Oh, we got hit. It's okay. Yeah, we're gonna have to get some rest soon. But we got him. Okay, we actually succeeded. We're gonna have to walk home because otherwise we're gonna fall from exhaustion, but we found 6 coins. Now, that was very simple look at combat. I'll have to give you a more detailed look when I can. But basically, you have this little dial down there in the bottom right-hand corner you saw me using. I didn't have much chance to talk about it, but what you can do is... sorry, at this point we're actually in danger. You can swing at the guy, you can try to dodge, you can stab at the guy, and you can try to parry. Now, if you actually have the skills, you can press in the middle, and it will switch to where you can use things like magic, where you can run away, and the other things. But it's all right down there in the bottom corner, and you can use the mouse for that. So... it's kind of simplistic, but as the game goes on, it does become a little bit tactical because you're going to be doing things like trying to dodge out of the way of troll clubs and whatnot. And it's deep enough. It's going to be repetitive over the course of the game, but it's deep enough that, particularly when you're flying, when you're fighting some of the flying rays and things like that, it's deep enough. It's deep enough to be good. Let's go ahead and take these flowers and give them to her. Get some silvers from that. Okay. And yes, I don't know, sticks them in her shirt or something. Let's not think about it. Okay, so now we have 4 gold pieces and 26 silver pieces. Now, we are entirely out of stamina. Almost. I could try the run back up to Arana's Peace. Normally, that's where I would spend the night. That way I can get food in the morning. But, given that it is this late in the day, and if I was to sleep, I would be able to recover some of my stamina. But it's... sunset approaches. I don't think I can make it up there because right now I can't run from monsters and I can't fight any either. I'm out of stamina. That's just not an option. I think tonight we're going to have to spend in the inn, which is okay. That's going to give us an opportunity to meet the traveling merchant as well as talk to some of those people. And I think that might be where we end the episode this time. If you stay out too late, the doors of the town will close and you can't get in. So... let's go ahead in here. And here he is, indeed. Let's go ahead and talk to him some. We'll save talking to Shamin here. Oh, it is indeed sad and dangerous times we live in, when a man who struggles daily to keep from starving should be robbed of all his earthly possessions. I am Shima. Allow me to serve you, wanderer from afar. Do you wish food or drink? I have no idea what the cost is at this point, but, yeah, we do. And of course we can talk to him. But in the interest of time here, we're going to save that. We have a very good stew of newborn lamb along with honey chicken for a mere 3 silvers. Coffee is included in the price of the meal. So at this point, we'll get out our money and throw it at her. We'll go ahead and buy ourselves a meal. Why not? 3 silvers, it's not that... Okay, we're going to buy ourselves a drink. You caffeine addicts are all like... This is coming from a game developer, apparently. This is the other way you get food in the game, other than your own rations, but this gives us an opportunity to talk to, well, Abdullah Du, son of Ali, grandson of Husan, and former master merchant of Shapir. Now I am but a penniless burden upon my friends. 2 weeks ago, I was going to be a wealthy beyond what you could dream of. I, Abdullah Du, would be the first merchant into this valley this year, but my life was shattered by brigands. The band of brigands ambushed us just as we crossed the pass into the valley. There were about 12 brigands, including a huge minotaur. There was also a leader and some sort of wizard. They first used some sort of magic which blinded us. Then they overwhelmed my 6 guards and my assistants. All my trade goods were taken before me. I am now but a beggar, living off the generosity of my friends. Alright, so he actually talks a fair amount, but the wizard threw something at us that caused my eyes to be blinded with tears and my nose to be forced to sneeze. I was helpless. The Minotaur is a creature with the head of a bull and the body of a man. They are said to be very strong. The leader was wearing a cloak, so I couldn't see his face. His voice was rather high-pitched, though. She's gonna throw the plate at you. I bring you that which you ordered. May it please and satisfy you. Whoosh. She throws it at you. She does it quite well. She never spills a drink. So let's go ahead and, okay, we're gonna go ahead and drink that because otherwise I think they get insulted with you. And here she does vacuum hands. She's gonna suck the plate up. Sorry. As a kid, man, I remember just laughing my head off at that. Okay. Talk to this guy. Ask him about the wizard. The wizard was very short, and he giggled most of the time. I couldn't understand what he was saying. Here I pay good money for men to protect me, and what do they do when I need the protection? They run away. Not one man died to defend my treasure. You just can't hire good guards anymore. Well, if they were sneezing and blinded, I can see why they didn't try to fight. Ask him about his wealth. I had treasures carefully brought from Shapir with me. I even had a magic carpet with me. So, you're getting the hint that Shapir is, in fact, Arabia, and you're absolutely right. Let's ask him about his friends. Even though they, too, lost a fortune when the brigands stole from me, Shamin and Shima are caring for this frail shadow of a great man. And that's that. He leans forward and stares at him. Okay, let's talk about Shima. She is the finest of cooks. Outside of myself, that is. But her fine food is as dust in my mouth, for I am but a beggar. Shamin. He is the very prince of Katas. Ah, Shapir, beautiful land of golden suns and let's try that again. Ah, Shapir, beautiful land of golden sands and shining sun, to the heart of civilization. Alas, she is plagued with fierce jinn and afrits who seek to drive all men and Katas from the land. But I can speak no more of my homeland. I shall never see again. Instead, I will die in this cold, forsaken land, bereft of all I love. I trade the treasures of one land for that of another, but the brigands have stolen every treasure I had, and I am a merchant no more. This is proof. Never put your eggs in one basket. Okay, well, there you go. That is everything that he has to say, and what is he drinking? Oh. Nope. Okay. And at this point, we can't say anything to him. In this game, you actually can't click on yourself to talk. Other games, you can. So let's go ahead and get up. And we'll pay Shamin for a room for the night. Which I'm trying to remember how much it is. It's not horrifically expensive. Room. Here we go. 5 silvers a night. Well, we made that much today, so we can totally afford that. We still have 22. So let's go ahead and pay the man. Get a night's rest. And there you have it, folks. Thanks for watching Quest for Glory 1. This is a game that has a special place in my heart, and I hope it does in yours. And if you've never played the game before, or if you have and you have fond memories of it, it might be worth checking out. It's available on GOG.com and Steam. I can't speak to the Steam version. I don't have it. This is the GOG version here. It runs in DOSBox, because of course it won't run natively on your computer. And I believe that they have some of the fan-made patches applied, at least to the GOG version. Don't let the 40 out of 50 points up there in the score fool you. We are nowhere close to done with this game. We are not a tenth of the way through. But thank you very much for watching, and if you'd like to see more of this, please, by all means, please put your comments down in the description below, and I will be happy to play this game. This game has extremely fond memories, or is an extremely fond memory for me, and I will be happy to play all of the games in the series. 5, I have to admit, is not my favorite game, but I will definitely happily play 1 through 4, especially as there is a remake to 2. If you're not aware of this, even if you don't watch any of the other videos, there is a fan remake of 2 that is amazingly good. It is unofficial, but it has been given the official blessing by the original makers of the series, and it is extremely good. Highly recommend that you go out and play that if you have no interest in dealing with the text-based interface of the first game. Although, if you so wish, during the remake, you could turn the text interface back on. So, I just wanted to let you know about that, and hope to be playing this game and that game for you guys. But regardless, thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.